Yeah, so we were having a discussion last night. It was myself. Let me see if I can get myself in here somehow. It was myself, it was Alec, and it was Wesley. And we were talking about Dr. Jeanson's conclusions on his haplogroups and stuff. And Wesley wanted to understand some more, so we wanted to have this discussion. And we had a discussion last night, but he was a little bit reluctant to be on air for obvious reasons because he was still trying to figure it out and everything, what the haplogroups are and stuff like that. So we were, explaining, this, that, as well as we could understand it ourselves. And so Wesley has a better idea as to how the haplogroups work, and he was wondering if I would be willing to have a discussion with someone like maybe Brandon or SFT Donnie or somebody. And I said, yeah, no problem. I'm a little bit reluctant to get into a discussion, but, for the sake of the benefit of everyone, I would be willing to do that. And of course, I'd be willing to talk to Dr. Jeanson, but he's probably got a lot of other responsibilities and, you know, in Portuguese we say compromises, but it means other things to do. Um, so so we explained a little bit, and I just wanted to also take the opportunity because somehow I can't turn this thing off until I go live. So that's why I'm going live with the discussion I had last night. But it wasn't recorded or anything, so nobody will ever know except for Alec Cox, who was there as well. And he saw the whole thing, heard the whole thing, pretty much the whole thing. And so if you have any questions, you can ask him or Wesley or myself as to what we were talking about. Anyway, so I made a change. I made a recent change to the Semitic family, the change between Aram and Asher. I had those two mixed up, confused because of course, they're not too distantly related, obviously, because they're brothers. Aram, Lud, Asher, Elam, they're all brothers, and Arpachshad is where the Judah comes from. So, but it seems to me now that I looked at it, nobody said anything to me, but I've made a couple of corrections. One of the corrections I made with Q. Now I'm making a correction with Aram. It seems to me like Aram is the one. Excuse me. Sneeze. Aram is the one who has the closer association with Israel and Judah, both Israel and Judah. They're basically right in the same area. King David is sometimes referred to as an Aramean. I saw in one of the texts, one of the things, because the Arameans were right there. But of course, King David is from Judah. He's not Aramean, but the Arameans were right there. And so I reassigned the G haplogroup, the haplotype, to being Aram because they were more closely associated with Israel and Judah than Assyria was. Assyria was associated with Nimrod in the Bible, and they were like an external thing outside, and Aram was more like the Arameans were more like an internal thing in Canaan, inside of Canaan. So that's why I had to switch the G haplogroup to the Arameans. It's not F anymore, it's G. And so the F will go to the Assyrians. And of course, there's F's that they don't even know, they haven't even assigned a name to it or category yet because they don't know what it is. But we have to understand that F is a category. F is also a lineage. It's both a category of FGHIJ and it's a lineage as well, an individual lineage as well. So that's what's confusing about that. So there's a F1, F2, F3, and then there's another F that they haven't assigned yet, which I believe is probably Lud. So there's F1, 2, 3, and there's Lud. So that would be the Assyrians, F1, 2, and 3, and the one they haven't assigned yet, which probably deserves its own haplogroup, is the Lydians, descended from Lud. So there's that. And I'm still, the rest of the ones haven't changed yet, except the other one. I don't know, what was the last one I changed? Well, Q. But anyways, it's pretty much it. And K would be two. K is another one that's a whole category group. It's K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T, but it's also an individual lineage as well itself. So they really didn't know what they're doing when they're assigning haplogroups, and so they kind of have it all mixed up and messed up. They really need to go through and reassign everything. Once they get enough testing where they can see all the individual family trees, then you can start assigning the different haplogroups to the different people. Now, the one thing with Dr. Jeanson is that he has G and H being associated with the Hamitic family tree, except that the Hamitic family tree is, by everybody else's accounts, is separate from the F, G, H, I, and J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, and T. But somehow that SNP that defines what is not Hamitic, Dr. Jeanson somehow disregards, I guess. I don't know. And somehow he sees other things. I don't know if it's what he's looking at. I don't know what he's looking at. If it's autosomal or if it's Y chromosome. I don't know what it is. But he's saying there's a mutation that defines or associates G and H with A, B, C, D, and E, and not I and J. But he seemed to want to put I and J by itself as a Japhethite for whatever reason. Because he has all the Japhethites or all the known Japhethites as I and J, which is, according to him, Turkic. So then I and J is by itself, according to him, being the only representation of Japhethite, which the Bible said that he would enlarge the 10th of Japheth. Japheth would be enlarged and dwell in the tents of Shem. And with his family tree, apparently that's not true. But the way I see it, Japheth was enlarged. It is the largest group with the 7 sons of the Eurasians. All the Eurasians are Japhethites. It would be Gomer, Madai, Tubal, Tiraz, Javan, Meshach, and Magog. Those were 7 sons of Japheth. So Japheth was enlarged, and he does dwell in the tents of Shem, in that most of the mitochondrial DNA is Semitic. Europeans, Gomer, is 95% Semitic mitochondrial DNA. Even in Asia, there's a Semitic mitochondrial Asian DNA line, and then there's a Middle Eastern mitochondrial Semitic Asian line, DNA line in Asia as well. So we have that. Anyway, that's about it for right now, I guess. Yeah, I was supposed to have a discussion, or I did have a discussion with Wesley last night, and Alec Cox was there, and we discussed a little bit the haplogroups so that he could understand better what the position was of Dr. Nathaniel Jeanson, because he was wondering why would I question Dr. Nathaniel Jeanson on his choice of haplogroups. So I explained a little to him, and he seemed to understand a lot better, and he might be able to set me up with a discussion with somebody, either Brandon or SFT Donnie, but he might not want to. But Brandon is spearheading the trace book, so that he would be a good candidate for that discussion. So might have a discussion with him in the future. And so that's about it. So that was what this live stream was about last night. And I just jumped back into it because I wasn't able to close it out until I jumped into it, because we never went live because he was a little reluctant to go live. So then that's why I'm going live now, so I can close it out. So God bless everybody. And take care, and stay with the truth. The truth will set us free. And that's our only objective, our main objective, and our only objective. God bless everybody. Take care.